Yeah, Coach B, I'll go. I mean, I don't know if anyone noticed this morning, but jobs report was very favorable for rates. So I think we're going to see rates coming down, which should make everyone quite excited. Here in Atlanta, we've been really busy anyway, but this should just bump things up even further.
Hey man, I love that. Let's go. That's good fire for us. Let's go. Come on, y'all. Who's next? What's your wins and intentions? Don't be shy. Unmic.
I, I put a property under contract that didn't even hit the market. So I connected a seller with a buyer. So it's possible. And that was a nice win. My intentions are to continue to stay in front of my clients, be consistent in marketing, because even when you think things are slower, you never know when things are going to pop up, and you just have to stay consistent.
Come on now, somebody. That's what I'm talking about. I love it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Needed that. I popped in right at the right time. Thanks, Brian.
Let's go. Someone else.
Jacqueline, you're up.
Well, I don't really know what the topic is, but I'll just spiral off of what Brian just said.
I got you. What are your wins for this week? And then what's your intentions moving forward?
Okay. Well, my wins this week are being able to get, I'm trying to reach Icon and I'm short a few transactions. So one of my girlfriends said, hey, you can take over these leases. I'm trying to get people on my team to answer them. And I did just give them a call. I'm about to get 2 of them leased. So that adds 2 more to what I need to the 20. We've picked up several listings this week. We've got about another 6 coming on as well. So just stacked with listings, and I hope that's good. Lots of showings, and I feel exactly the same way as Brian. I'm just doing all the right things, all the old things, the calling, the staying in front of people, being positive, and just not letting this market get to me at all.
Hey, come on. That's inspiring. You don't let it get to you. You just keep on moving forward. That's amazing. Who else can testify that you've been pushing through this week? Come on.
This is Sean Fuentes. I'm working really hard on my first million+ listing. I had a talk with Brian about it, and so I'm super jacked that we just came on market, even though the seller was like, let's come on 2 weeks early. And I'm like, wait a minute. We're supposed to do off-market stuff. But we pushed through, we got it on. And I do want to say one thing. Coming to this meeting and the one on Tuesday has really given me a lot of insight on how to list these properties, any property really, but more marketing, what information I can give the seller so they stay on top of what's going on with their house, with their listing. And List Track was one of them, and a few other things. So I'm really, really happy to be on today and to hear what everybody else has to say.
Awesome. Okay, we've got room for one more. So unmic and let it rip.
I was going to say, follow up of everybody else. First, I just want to say I'm grateful to be a part of this team. All the encouragement, like Sean said, all the learning to keep going. And even when things get frustrating, so grateful for that. And then my win or my intention for this, for now, actually for this month, is to have one of the best Mays I've ever had. So
awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, guys, that is so wonderful to hear all your wins. They're very motivating. And it's inspiring to hear your intentions, because little do you know, that's a billionaire's mentality to impact, right? That's how you grow, because you are not just thinking about yourself. Your story is not just for you. It's for someone else who needs to be inspired to keep pushing. And the more you give, the more you get back. That's the whole principle of the go-giver, right? That's the mentality of the go-giver. The go-giver is set to say, even when I think I don't have anything that's inspiring, even when I think I didn't win, my losses are wins, right? Those are wins, because success leaves clues. I know you guys hear Elizabeth, we call her Queen E in our tribe, but I know you guys hear Elizabeth say that all the time, that success leaves clues. And this is absolutely true. It does, because every time you fail, that's a puzzle piece connecting you to the next thing. You know, even when scientists, you know, they perform experiments and then, you know, they've got to have their hypothesis and they've got to have, you know, their findings, their thesis, their studies, all that. I'm probably saying it out of order. I'm not a scientist, but, you know, eventually they conclude after several failed experiments that this one experiment that got it right, it works. So you all are real estate scientists, real estate chemists, trying to find your way to the successful formula that works and that brings about prosperity. And those wins and intentions are exactly that. Those are your hypotheses. Those are your thesis. Those are your findings. And now my intention is to take my original findings and then unveil, you know, the next part of my experiment. And before long, I'm going to look up, I'm an icon, you know, I'm $155 million production strong. That's how you're going to think about it and beyond, right? And even those of you who are like, well, I'm $2 million strong. Amen. $500,000 strong. Amen. Because whatever got you to 500 is going to get you to, you know, 1 million, and then from 1 million to 10 million, et cetera, et cetera. So keep going, keep sharing those wins, never be intimidated, always be bold. That is your calling. Okay, to be bold and courageous. Well, I am here because if you can't tell, I got a real big personality. As a matter of fact, I always tell people I'm an introvert because I really like my space. I like to study alone. I like to be really resourceful in my own bubble. And everybody goes, no, you're not. All that talking you just did, there's no way you're an introvert. And I always say, we come in different forms. And, you know, and now, you know, one of my sisters coined the term, you're an ambivert. You know, just the right amount of, you know, time you need alone and just the right amount of time you need with people. And so what I have learned is how to market to people, you know, based on my personality type. I'm a people person who values very quality relationships. And I know you guys have heard a lot about the DISC, but I want to add another value to you guys, and it's called the Kindle Life Languages. This program has been taught to Coca-Cola and other, you know, types of big major corporations, Kellogg, so forth and so on. And there are coaches since 1985. This was invented by Fred and Anna Kendall, who teach this program. And it's more in depth than even the DISC. The DISC is amazing. The DISC has transformed a lot of businesses over the years. You've heard things about, you know, people finding out who they are when it comes to being decision makers or dominant in their field, and, you know, influencers and stable in their ways and cautious in their movement and things like that. And when you learn who you are, you know, or who you were, it changed the way that you did business. And for those of you who have never taken it, there is definitely power in taking the DISC. But I found that there was a profile. I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen, and then let's see. If you guys can give me screen sharing, Sab, I think you're on here, then I can go ahead and start sharing my screen here. But I found that this profile for Life Languages many years ago, it even updates. I even have it. I'm sorry, guys. I have it on D&D. I don't know why that came over, but I even have it where I update it every year just to see where I'm changing and what's the response. Let's see if I've got screen share now. I do. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. That it can change. So I updated mine before our training to see how much I had changed. And let me explain to you how this works. This is a character-based communication chart. In order to reach the masses, you have to know how to speak different languages, and not just the languages we speak verbally, but the languages we communicate in our characters. Some of you might be running teams and you might start realizing that, hey, I don't know how I'm really connecting with my partners. I can't retain people. Maybe people in your team are turning over. Maybe you're an individual realtor who doesn't think that you are in a position where you can have a team right now. And I would tell you, you were absolutely wrong if that's what you said to yourself when it came to doing business. Because when you understand the dynamics of having a successful and powerful team on your side, then you realize that this is something I want to do sooner than later. Some of you wait on perfect conditions before you decide to start a team. And I want to use the chat too as we're going throughout. So sometimes it'll look like I'm clicking in a blank space. I'm actually clicking to see the chat. But how many of you are afraid to start a team? Is there anybody who's afraid to start a team because you feel like you don't have it all together? You're waiting on perfect conditions. Show me in the chat. You can raise your hand, put a thumbs up or something. And remember, we're all family here, so don't be afraid to share. Anybody? Okay. Who wants to maybe have a team, but you feel like you don't know all of the working parts to putting that team together? All right. Brian said, I don't want a team. I can understand that. All right. I see hands flying up. Who in here runs a team? Uh-oh, I hear somebody speaking. Is someone saying something? Okay. So who in here runs a team by a show of hands in the chat? Okay. All right. So I see a few. Okay. Joel said, I started a small team last year before was scared. Oh yeah, that's how it is, right? Well, I run a team of agents. I have a team of about 15 agents here in the DFW area, about 6 agents in the Houston area, 2 in Austin and 1 in San Antonio. And you better believe that I took almost 4 years to start a team because I also dealt with the same fear of starting a team. Also, because I didn't understand the power of the team. Most of the time when you think about a team, who thinks about it being a big liability? Who in here thinks about a team being a liability? And who thinks about maybe you having to babysit a bunch of adults? You know, let's be real on this call, right? You think that this is what you have to do. And sometimes when you start a team, you're thinking, in order for me to retain this team, I have to be very instrumental. I've got to be involved in every part of the process. I have to hold trainings. I have to do all of these things to make sure they're equipped to do their job well, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of people think about that. Yeah, Shima, the time commitment scares me. Well, I'll tell you guys that the time commitment for me used to be the same way. I used to be on training calls all the time. I used to do a 9-to-5 virtual office where I kept my office open from 9 to 5, no matter where I was, on my computer, on my device. So it took away that whole, I'm not in a brick and mortar environment situation. And I said, you know, they can just pop into the office and ask me questions. And then it started to cut into time that I needed to actually work on perfecting my processes. And so I reevaluated how I was doing my team. And what I realized is that I was fear leading because I was not understanding how to communicate with the producers on my team in the languages that they spoke. So what you'll find is that liability will not be as great, that time commitment will not be as scary, and that moment where you're like, I don't even want to be a part of a team because I don't want to have to babysit a bunch of adults. I like being a producer and, you know, and whatever, you'll realize that it's not about that at all. That what starting a team is about having people who extend your reach. There's a saying, I absolutely love this saying. It is, I do it, which means I'm the visionary. I get the vision. I'm producing. I start off, and then as my business starts to pick up, then I have to start implementing other people to help me expand my reach if I'm running a real business and not a hobby. And then we do it together. I'm able to show people, you know, my procedures, policies, protocols. You know, I'm able to get a little bit more organized if I hire the right staff to help me to do that. And then they do it, which means I get to step out of my business and then and work on the business instead of working in the business. And then I don't have to micromanage and worry because I've put components in place every time I reinvest it, where people are now going to be able to start running that part of the business for me. And now it's like mailbox money. Maybe I decide to have a meeting just because I want to see how everybody is doing. But then I allow there to be autonomy where people don't feel like they're being micromanaged, but they're building a business for themselves and not just learning how to work it for me. It's called abundant leading, where I'm not holding so tightly to everyone saying, are you getting this done, that done, this done? But I'm saying, this is your business just as much as this is my business. So if you don't produce, you don't eat. And that's just how that works. And if I don't produce, I don't eat. So let's do this together so that we're eating together. All right. Well, that's where this program, the 7 Life Languages, comes into play, because it teaches you how to speak multiple character languages. So not just, hey, how are you feeling today? You seem a little off. Maybe you don't want to be here. Maybe, you know, whatever. Or the person that's over bubbly in the office that everybody will know how to receive. It teaches you how to receive and work with and exercise the intelligence to drive people to success. Okay, so let's dive into it. Overall, there are 7 life languages, and they break it down to your top 3 languages. And when we're all done, I'll tell you guys where you can go take this test. It's pretty phenomenal. And these languages that they break it down into have to deal with your emotive, so your emotional side, your cognitive, and your kinetic intelligence. What's going to get you into production? What's going to take your profession to the next level? And for some of you, you can even use this for your families. For my husband and I, we work in business together. We're partnered, realtors who run our team. It even helps you to communicate with your partner. I've even had my kids take this before because it's so dynamic what you get to learn. So it's broken down into these 7 languages. One being a mover, someone who is direct, assertive, ambitious, pioneering, courageous, and a standard bearer. Okay. And then you've got your doer, the dedicated, observant, diligent, practical, efficient, and responsible person. Then you've got your responders. These are the people that are very compassionate, very passionate, sensitive, warm, protective, and verbal. Some of you can probably already start hearing a part of you in this. Then you've got your influencer. Influencers for the people. They're diplomatic, they're optimistic, they're relational, persuasive, and intuitive. Lastly, on the cognitive side, you get your shapers, contemplators, and your producers. Okay. And your shaper is that one that's very organized, they're visionary, they're focused, they're delegating, they're strategic, and they're efficient. Then you have your contemplator. They're very inquisitive. They're very reflective. They're sensitive. They're peaceful. They're calm. They're complex at the same time. And then you have your producer. Your producer's gracious. They're thoughtful. They're responsible. They're philanthropic, and they're resourceful. These are the people we have a saying that says they stay ready to keep from getting ready. Okay. They're going to be on the scene. What I always tell people is not to compare yourself one to the other. Because what happens is if you try to adapt someone else's style and way of doing business, you get burnt out. We all know the statistics. Somebody tell me in the chat how many people fell out of this industry called real estate in their first 5 years. Who wants to tell me? Everybody should know this alarming statistic. Post it in the chat for me. Let's go. 80%. Okay. 80%, 75%. I see the numbers rolling in. So, as I've been growing in this industry, one thing we've always known is 78 to 87% of real estate professionals fell out of this industry in their first to 5 years of being a part of this industry. And I believe, after reading so many different blogs that were posted, studies that were posted, NAR statistic posts, and different things like that, that the reason so many professionals fell out of the industry is because of something I like to call one, imposter syndrome. They don't believe that they can do something that they really are more than capable of doing, because we all are. And then 2, they try to do it like someone else when it's not their personality. They shouldn't be doing it that way. So, for instance, how many people have heard work your spear or your SOI? You can say me or thumbs up. Yes, work your spear. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in this chat. So everybody's heard that whole work your spear. And the first thing they tell you to do, and I learned early on was smile and dial. Smile and dial, always be closing. Make those calls. And what I learned over time, since I've been in real estate for a combined or a collective of over 15 years, but I've been licensed residential for 7 years. And what I learned was, when they said work your spear, they were never really definitive. So then some people came out with clever things like memory joggers. Who on this call has ever heard of the memory jogger? Anyone? Now, note takers and money takers. Moneymaker, sorry about that. So if you hear me say something, write it down. I'm telling you, if I ask you, have you heard of it? Because this will change the trajectory of your business. So if you've heard of a memory jogger, then you understand that the memory jogger is this real grandiose, put together, very thoughtful, long PDF unjogging your memory of every single interaction you've ever had with any business to business, any person, any roommate, college mate, male person, this, that, and the third. And they're pretty much telling you without telling you that the world is your platter. You can leave out of your house and go pick a lead today and be successful in closing that lead and making your dollars. They're basically saying you're leaving billions of dollars on the table because you're not targeting these people. You mistakenly think that your sphere of influence is your family, friends, and that's it. It's limited. It goes no further than that. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. So you go and you Google memory jogger. And when you go and you Google it, you'll pull it up and you'll see, and it'll start unjogging your memory, because then all of a sudden you'll start thinking about all of the people you know in those different categories and states, et cetera, et cetera. Well, what I learned was there's one person who may be a caller. They don't have a problem with calling. They fear no rejection, and they understand the no gets me closer to the yes. Then there's another person who doesn't realize their potential to go far, because they are worried about the caller. Because the way that we've always been taught that sales work is it's a numbers game. Call as many people as you can. Know your conversion rate. If you call X amount of people and at least the X amount of answered calls, then you'll probably be at X amount of closings by the end of the month. Stack that on top, and then you have it by the end of the year. You've closed so many. And this is what we've been taught. Well, what if you could change your mindset on how you targeted those people, because you started actually operating in your emotive, kinetic, and cognitive traits? And so let's keep diving into it. So I always tell people, don't compare yourself to other people. So when you take this life languages test, here's what you must understand. Accept your language as unique and special. Accept others' languages as special to them. Recognize each language is just as valid as another. Learn to communicate with all languages. Help others learn how to communicate with you. Enjoy each person's similarities and differences. Propose to strengthen your weaker language. Sorry about that. And then choose the character. Choose what character you're going to choose to be. And then don't compare your languages to others or feel better or worse. Don't try to change others to only speak your language. Don't criticize and characterize others' languages. And then don't insist that others learn your language instead of you learning theirs. Don't limit yourself by labeling, because these things change. Remember, I told y'all, I check mine every year. And don't give up on learning how to communicate with others and their preferences. Don't boast or excuse yourself because of your primary language, and be the character, right? Don't be a character, but be the character that you're choosing. So I'm a personal case study today, and I took mine so that I could present to you guys, and I wanted to take it closer to the date so that you could actually see, this update. And I talked about what it meant to be that contemplator, that influencer, that responder, producer, mover, shaper, doer. And sometimes when you're running a team, if you have someone that's a doer and you have someone like myself that's a high contemplator, those two personalities can really clash. Because who in here knows someone who's very simple? They may not research, they may not read. Sorry. Is someone speaking? All right. I think somebody's just coming in. Okay. So who in here knows someone who just does it? They're like Nike. I'm watching the chat. Somebody that they just get out there. They're simple. You're all like, I wish I just would go and do it. I wish I wasn't an overthinker. Anybody? Do you know people like that? And what about people who feel like I'm an overthinker, coach? I ain't gonna lie. I'm not really moving the way I'd like to because I just overthink. Sometimes the doer frustrates the contemplator, because the contemplator is like, you didn't even research that before you did it. So now you failed, and that's what you get. And then the doer is like, you take too long to make decisions. I can't, in other words, the slow texter versus the fast texter. Anybody had that experience? You're dealing with somebody who texts so slow. You're like, oh my God, it takes you 24 hours to text me back. This is how these languages begin to work. So if you're in partnership with someone, look, Julia said, I overthink my overthinking. Hello, I know I've been that person before, right? We all know someone that's like this. And when you are trying to work with other people, it's important for you to know who they are. So in your companies, you want to take this so that you understand yourself. And don't be afraid to offer it to your team members or to your staff, your support staff when you're hiring people. Notice my purpose today is to teach you how to scale, not just to be an average realtor who comes into this industry and you're like, oh, I'm just trying to figure myself out. I can't afford to run a team. I'm here today to teach you how to actually scale and understand the importance of running with a community versus running as a lone wolf, because this is why that percentage is filling out. They're running by themselves. They don't understand that all you need is one person to believe in you, and you guys start a team. And next thing you know, you guys are coming up with different ways to prospect and different ideals on how to generate leads and different ways to manage your leads and run your systems. And then you guys together as a collective are now thinking about the staff that you can implement, and you're sharing the pool, the financial responsibility, and you're scaling your business quicker but more efficient though than you would if you're by yourself. So when you're selecting a partner, it's important to know yourself, know thyself. So that way you can select someone who's stronger in other areas. So as a contemplator, influencer, responder, which is what I'm high in, it would actually serve me to have someone who is also, high in producer, mover, shaper, doer, because these people help to balance me out. So then that means I get to do the part that I love: contemplate, influence, and build relationships. And then these other categories get to produce and move to shape the culture of our company, and then to do. And then it's a win-win for everyone, because now I'm getting an opportunity to actually thrive, and we're getting an opportunity to make more together than we would apart. Is there anyone on here who feels like I've been going down a road trying to figure this real estate thing out, and I'm just not really clear on if I'm going in the right direction? Who is bold? Remember, our calling is to be bold. So who is bold enough to admit that?
Oh, I've thought about it a few times.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'll say I've thought about it a few times. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? When I'm not getting the results that I want. I'm one of those people. I dream big, and so if I don't meet those goals, that uh makes that level of overthinking the overthinking.
Right. Of
Yeah.
course. Of course. And that can happen. And so, in the process, you need someone in your life that's going to be a shaper, mover, doer, who allows you to be gifted in your thought process. Because again, remember, your overthinking is forming your hypothesis. There's a guy, his name is Dan Sullivan, and he has a book that's called Who, Not How. And what he says is, oftentimes when we experience procrastination, it is because we may not be the people who are supposed to execute that vision. We might just be the visionaries. So then we need to consult executors who practice in the area that we're trying to accomplish. Or there's another saying that says, get into a room with people whose everyday reality are your dreams. So if you're overthinking something, that is a telltale. That means your body's working, your mind's working, you're a contemplator, and that's a telltale sign that you need to expand your circle. But there's some things that might stand in our way. For instance, the disc is purposeful in that it shows you what side you lean more to. Are you a people person, on that far, right side of things? Are you a task-oriented person on the far left? You know, are you an extrovert north or are you an introvert south? And then you'll start to see, depending on what side of the web you end up on, the reason why you're not really progressing if you're an overthinker who's not making any moves. And it would primarily be because you're not connected to people who have the extroverted qualities or that have that, you know, that people person quality, et cetera, so that they're able to actually execute the vision that you have and get it in front of people. Anybody feel like they're just kind of moving alone? They don't have anyone, you know, kind of helping them except kind of these forums and groups. Is there anyone who'd be willing to share?
Right here. Right here.
Hey, Sean.
This is Sean.
So talk to me. Like, what
all
does
all of that you were talking about is stuff that I go every day. I'm like, what did I do? It's like I don't want to say post-mortem, but it's like, what did I do today? How was I productive? Constant like looking back and then trying to adjust for the next day. And what didn't I do? What didn't I get done?
Yep. And that's exactly that feeling that you're left with that you talked about, that at the end of the day, that's like, what did I actually do? And did I do anything that was productive? That requires you, and I'm prescribing this to you because it's very important that if you guys feel like Sean, it really is time to take time out and treat your business as a business. Now, I'm not talking about just the finance side, the financial side. I'm talking about actually getting accountable, executing team players. So maybe you start sitting down and you start interviewing people who are the producers, who are the doers, who are the movers and shapers. And you may not know it because they haven't taken a test like this, but if you take the test and then you understand what that looks like, then let's go back up to what we talked about they were. I'm gonna be the one that is, you know, contemplating right now. So because I'm contemplating, like Julia was saying, I overthink my overthinking. Okay, I'm contemplating. So that means I'm being inquisitive. I'm always at trainings. I'm always studying. I'm always reading. I'm always reflective. I'm always trying to sense what move I should make. I'm, you know, trying to calmly yet peacefully attack these complexities of life. But then I never really even get far because I spend all this time overthinking, because it's not that simple for me as a contemplator to just say, I'm gonna do, because I weigh all of the good, the bad, what could happen, you know, all of these things. So now, or if I'm Sean, right? And I'm like, I'm trying to understand, what did I do? You know, where I'm trying to organize my vision. I'm trying to put it all together. I'm trying to make sure that I've done, because you're probably a shaper. So you're planning the foundation. Sean, you're trying to write down your goals. You're trying to be strategic. You're trying to see what kind of results you've brought back and if you've actually made the moves that are going to benefit your company. Well, when you have a contemplator and a shaper, then it's time for you to start looking for people who are more direct, assertive, ambitious, and pioneering. They're courageous and they're a standard bearer, which means that, hey, Sean, all right, my brother, I'm so happy to be a part of this vision with you. And, you know, both of us are realtors. Both of us are trying to see icon. Both of us are trying to, you know, grow our bank accounts, you know, to a very comfortable or above average place. So here's what we need to do. I know you got the plan. I know you're a shaper. I know you see the vision. All I need you to do, my brother, is tell me where you need me to help you. And you say, well, today, you know, this is what I had on the schedule for us to do. And then the mover and the doer observes it, and the mover's like, well, let's do it. What's stopping us? And when you get an overthinker like Julia, that's like, yeah, but you know, what's stopping us is I'm thinking about this. The moving doer is like, look, I believe it's gonna work out. And I believe that if we don't do it, then we're never gonna know if it works or not. So let's just do it. They grab you by the hand, they say, come on, we're doing this. And then the doer, who has observed and been diligent and practical, tells Sean, man, it's gonna be all right. I've already been here, done that, got the t-shirt. You're actually on the right road. hey, did you get X amount of calls done today? Did you get X amount of experiences made today? As a matter of fact, you hate phones. Were you out in the field and did you make 100 connections then if you weren't going to make 100 calls today? And if somebody were to tell you that, Julia and Sean, just hearing me say that, how much of a burden lifted off of your shoulder do you think you would feel? Don't worry, I know it takes some time to get to the button. Joel said a lot. Look, Joel said I relate. Okay, you're not alone in this room.
No, I was just saying a lot. I just didn't want to speak, but I was nodding. Yeah, sorry.
No worries. You know, right, Sean, you got somebody that's saying you're on the right path, man.
Well, you know what? It's been on my mind to get mentor, somebody that I can speak with. Maybe not every day, but you know, maybe it's scheduled so that I can, you know, really, you know, I've gotten as far. I've been in the business 8 years now, and so I've gotten this far with what I know, and it's time to find somebody that knows what I don't know.
That's right. And let me tell you, and they're not a mentor either. They're a coach. A mentor is going to be a shaper just like you. You're a mentor. You need a coach because coach is going to say, you need to do X, Y, and Z. You've already got the plan. So understand, guys, mentorship is for compliance. Am I doing life right? You know, am I making the right decisions? But when you're shaping and you already kind of know this is what I'm doing throughout the day, the coach is like, oh, well, you have all the moving parts on your list already. So let's set together the times you're going to execute these. And then I need you to bring me back your results of your execution. That's what the coach says. So if I can encourage you, Sean, you need a coach that's going to say, bring me back the results of your execution. And then they're going to be able to look at the results of your execution and then say, oh, here's your problem. You spent more time on this and this was not income generating than you spent on this. Or, you know, you need to consider scaling because this right here is a part that needs to be perfected in your business. And until you can get this part perfected, you need someone who professes this on a daily. And then that helps to kind of tweak the, you know, axis and the coordinates of your business. And it gets those axles working like a clock where they're spinning together in sync, you know, and harmoniously to make your business run like a well-oiled machine. That's what you need. So keep that in mind. That's another reason it's important to take this kind of testing to know yourself, because then you say, let me make up for the difference of not what I don't have, but what I haven't perfected. Please understand that. Prosperous mindsets, people who are very wealthy mentally, even if you don't see it physically, and you know, and that you equated that it's not just financially, it's health as well. They say things like, it's not that I don't have it, it's that I haven't professed it. So I have all of those moving parts. I can run this business. If I want to be a one-man band, it'll be stressful. I'm walking around with the tuba on the front and the keys at my fingertips, the accordion in front of the keyboard and the cymbals on the side of me. I can walk around with that heavy equipment, or I can actually consult people who have professed it. And who on here can admit that a well put together orchestra works better than a one-man band? It sounds better than a one-man band because someone has had they've had the ability to actually profess and perfect what they're professing, versus me just knowing how to play a different instrument and then trying to do them all at once. So you have to find your orchestra and you have to shape your orchestra, and your orchestra helps you to scale so that you have a more grandiose, smooth sound, well put together approach to your business. And you guys are the number one, you know, classical real estate service that people go to. That's how you build up your business. So we're at 9:43. And I would like to open the floor for people to ask questions or to tell me your struggles, and let's talk about how we can help you perfect your business. So go ahead and unmic or put it in the chat, and I'd love to answer. Let's talk about it. Don't worry, I'll wait. Close
All
mouths.
right, I'll start. Um,
Go ahead.
so I guess I am an overthinker when it comes to like attracting agents and drawing in new members of the team. Just working with buyers and sellers to me, it's like riding a bicycle. I've been doing it since 1994. So, but building the team is a whole new concept. And then I've got two areas where I've got a builder down at the coast, and then I'm 2 hours away here in the Raleigh market. And because of this new builder I've picked up at the beach, I've got to build a team down there. I've got to get agents on and get them on fast so that I got toes in the sand at the beach. So I guess I struggle daily with putting together the plan for agent attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do activities for agent attraction, it's almost I just have a hard time drawing agents to me. And I don't know if I need a shift in my mindset to say I have
Absolutely.
the value, I'm worthy of building other agents up.
Yeah. So here's the thing. You absolutely have the value. And where I want to help you is to take your mind off of you. You're not the person that you should be focused on attracting to. You're the blessing that you should be focused on handing out blessings.
I like
That's
that.
how that works. So
Okay.
I can't look at me and go, are they going to like me? Are they going to want to work with me? Am I going to have all the moving parts to help them? Am I going to be able to, plug them in? Because then what happens there is if you do that, then you start enabling folk to believe that when they join you, you are the person that, is going to be the driving force behind their success. But when you think about the opportunity to hand out a blessing like that, hey, I got a builder out here that's going to be producing. And honey, when I called you, I thought about how you could benefit from this. Imagine being able to increase your production from someone who's putting out more inventory. So I can keep it all to myself, but it's not for me. I feel a calling to give it to you guys and give you guys the opportunity to help grow your business. And then when they start to see it as their business, they work for their business. They structure plans for their business. And they make sure that while their business is working well, you're getting compensated for giving them the opportunity to have that business. People with wealthy mindsets don't look at the value of a split, and the percentage of that, because they realize that 0% of 100 is 0. But a percentage of something is going to give me compound interest, and I can compound it and then create something bigger, and better, and preferably with the person that gave me the opportunity to do it. So now, what did we learn, Joelle? Take yourself out of the equation.
Okay.
I got a builder for y'all. You want to work with me or not? No? Okay. And keep moving.
Right.
And then remind them that it's their business. This ain't my business. I just had the vision. It's our business. So help us be successful in our business.
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Who's next? Come on, y'all. Don't miss it. I'm a practical and answering coach up here. So come on. Use your moment. Maybe you're not building a team. Maybe you're just starting off as a realtor. You want to ask a question about that? Let me help you, but don't be shy.
I can tell you one thing that's really made a big difference since I've joined EXP was getting a VA, because there's so many tasks that bog you down every day. And I just look up, the day's gone and can't get anything done. And so when you think about leverage and how to make more hours in the day, that VA has made a really big difference in my daily life and consistency. And it's allowed me to get things done that I've always gone home at the end of the day before and been like, oh, I meant to do it. I don't know where the day went, because the phone never stops ringing, and emails, and, and so that's just a little tidbit that's make a big difference in my business and way of life. I mean, I don't go home with these heavy things on my to-do list. as much.
That's right. And I'm glad you brought up the VA because you can even test your VA on these. You know, you can give them a KLLP or give them a disc, right? And understand how they work. That way you don't spend time hiring VAs who don't really fit, you know, that the moving parts of your business. Because look, if I'm a contemplator, influencer, responder, that's which is mine, I'm high in that area, then I want to be thinking, I want to be influencing and impacting lives and motivating and encouraging. I want to be passionate and compassionate about, you know, what people have going on in their lives. And I don't want to spend time doing the tedious part. I don't want the rigid part. I don't want that assignment. So then if I hire a VA who has the rigidness and those parts to get those executory things done, then it gives me time to be more of me. And then Brian, you were the one like no team. Well, I tell you what, you're thinking no team because I can already hear it. You said my phone never stops working, you know, ringing. I've got to have a VA, you know, and I don't go home with these heavy things. Well, if you have that kind of mentality towards your production, that tells me that you are a servant leader. So you don't want the team because you know if I get a team, I'm gonna be all in their business and I'm gonna be trying to do everything for them. And I can't focus on somebody else until my cup is full. But here's the beauty about this, you know, examination is it allows you, and you don't have to have a big team. You can have one or two other people who help you with listings and buyers, and then that classifies or that counts as a team. And you don't have to babysit them because you've given them this profile analysis and now you know, oh, they're the mover, doer, shaper. So they're out in the field. They don't need me to hold their hand as much. They're not going to overthink and be on my phone calling me saying, well, Brian, how do I do this? And Brian, how do I do that? The other thing is you don't want to go the easy route. I see so many people scale and they try to take the easy route. So you know what they do? They go after a bunch of inexperienced agents and they say, I can build a champion because they're going to swear loyalty to me. Well, I'll tell you what, that's not where the loyalty lies. The loyalty lies in high producing people who understand that there's another opportunity to scale my income. So, hey, Brian, I'm happy to join you. What I get is someone who's already experienced, who just wants to scale their business and doesn't need me to hold their hands. And I'm confident that what I have will increase their business. But the reason why a lot of agents don't go to take this step, even in their first year, is because they don't believe in their guarantee. They don't believe that they have it. That's that imposter syndrome I talked about earlier. And you are more than capable. If your phone never stops ringing, then that means you need somebody to help you answer the phones. Not just your VA, but your people that's going to get out there and close the deals and pay you the percentage. And then you're not the one who's building out the processes. That's why you got a VA.
Well, the other thing is like, you know, you really have to make a list of things that you enjoy. Because if you enjoy it, you're going to do a better job at it. If you
That's
don't
right.
enjoy it, and it's a drag, then like, for example, I don't put any listings in the MLS. It just drives me insane to sit there and fill out every field for, you know, not that I don't review them, but like I got that monkey off my shoulder,
Amen.
you know, and I can do a lot more with that hour. It takes an hour to put one in now, you know, there's so many
Yep.
fields. So there's so many ways to leverage what you're great at and complement the others.
And you might be in a responder. So see how you haven't taken this test from me, but somewhere in your testing, you're going to rank somewhere a responder because the responders, they value their time. They value the experiences. They're protective over their time. And not 9 times out of 10, when a responder values their time in that way, it's something else that's a driving force, i.e. your family. I don't want to miss important moments of my family lives working around the clock all day. So I build a business around my family instead of building my family around the business. So this helps out. And then you get to get those people who don't think the same way. Like I've got a shaper on my team. She could care less about attending a game. She's like, I don't like football, but the kid's doing great. I don't feel that same way. I can't miss a football game. So thank you that you don't like football and let me go watch my son's football game and you take the deals for me and you make sure I get paid. You know, that's the kind of joy I find in having these different languages a part of my team. So who's next? We've got about 6 minutes. So who else wants to tap in? Come on.
You know what? This is Sean again. I have been wanting to hire a VA. I just right now, I don't know that I have enough work for them. And so, how do I manage a part-time VA?
Yeah, so that's
Or,
very.
or maybe not manage them. How do I hire one?
How do you hire them? Okay, so there are several different. I would recommend. Okay, you can always go and try to source an individual VA, but then it requires a little bit more work and knowledge and understanding on how to bring them on board. And i.e., you would want to give them one of these type of tests, either a DISC or a KLLP. Okay, but I always recommend starting off with a company first that might be American based with VAs, because then they've already created the processes, the protocol, the things that they have to follow. They're already taking care of them. So one of my favorite companies is called MSVA. Okay, so MS Virtual Assistants. They start off at $5 an hour. You know, they are highly managed. They are number one in their part of the Philippines. They have always served me very well. You can tell them Valencia Gibson, or Coach V as they know me as, sent me your way. And you know, they're a very outstanding company because they don't just give you one, they employ two when you're ready to go full time. And it takes the pressure off of there being, you know, one person doing 100 different assignments. But when you're just starting off, you want a part-time, you know, VA, then they will already have protocols in place that understand. If you say, look, I don't have a lot of work, but I need you to manage my social media and to answer calls, 10 calls for the, you know, company, and then make calls for me. Then what happens is they have a whole team of supporters who get behind them, help them set their schedules and make it effective so that those tasks and tedious tasks are being done for you. Then when you say things like, because I do this all the time, hey, call and schedule a doctor's appointment for my children. They're like, no problem, Coach V, I'll do it for you. They schedule the doctor's appointments, right? Hey, you know, this client just called about this. Can you do this? Hey, can you put this listing in the system? Yes, I got you. And my listing's in the system in like, you know, less than 45 minutes, when it'll take me, I'm like Brian, it'll take me 2 hours just looking at it going, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, I hate this, you know, right? I've got to upload the pictures, pause, put it on incomplete, come back a day later and update the pictures. And my clients are like, hey, where's my listing, right? No, I don't, you know, that's why I hired them to do it. And not saying I was on top of it because I wanted to make the check, but listen, okay, I had a day delay mentality when it comes to doing the listings. So the VAs really pay off for that. So start with the company first. There is Scale Virtually, that's one company. Like I said, MSVA is another company. A lot of people have hired VAs through Upwork and Fiverr as well, where you didn't have to have them on salary. You could actually consult them for just a job at a time and pay very low fees for that. So, you know, there's a lot of different companies out there. My Desk, they're the most expensive of them, but they give them health insurance and benefits and things like that. So they're pretty cool there. But MSVA has been the best one out of all the ones I've tried, that I've really liked. All right, y'all. 3 minutes. Squeeze that juice. Squeeze it. Let's go. We're making orange juice. Let's go. Or lemonade. Who's next? Oh, I see it.
If nobody wants to go, I got one question.
Well, come on, take your time.
So I do have an agent at the beach who's currently inactive, but really is not sure if she wants to sell or buy. So we're
Okay.
talking about possibly bringing her on as a licensed assistant.
Okay.
So can I still sponsor her and put her in the referral program at $50 a month and then give her access to like MLS?
You know, so that's a good question because I have 2 agents who went referral based. I would make a visit to exp.world. So if you guys haven't really paid attention to how they have shifted the dynamic of access in the world, y'all, it is amazing. You can use any browser and go to exp.world and then make a visit to your broker's office, and they'll tell you how to do that with the referral program. And that'll help you out as far as the sponsor side. Now, as far as the, you know, her being a licensed realtor who's going to be an assistant, that's amazing. because now she knows those regulations. She knows, you know, what what standards you guys are upheld to, and she might be your mover. Since she liked to kind of be in that position, she's a standard bearer. And so she'll be able to help you out there. So I definitely recommend having her in that capacity, but I also recommend you going to the broker room for them to tell you how it'll benefit you as if you can be her sponsor. Does that help?
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
Sweet, sweet. All right. And then for you, Cassandra, I just put the MSVA website in the chat. All right. Is there anyone else who wants to ask a 1-minute question? Speak now, forever hold your peace. Come on. Ooh, time's ticking. I must have did good today. Y'all are just quiet. All right. Well, it's 10 o'clock. It is my pleasure to have been here with you all, to have shared with you. Also, if you run a team and you're doing great in your business, never be too full to receive any more growth and any more coachable critiques, because you can always use room for improvement. You guys have a very wonderful day. I love it here. Bye, y'all. See you later.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure.